Welcome to the RavensSpace on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is RavensSpace Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We have 3 great news stories and a mailbag question from you guys. Before we go there, I want to say please subscribe to the RavensSpace on YouTube for more great Baltimore Ravens content. We do the best Baltimore Ravens videos on the internet. Also, I want to give a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because without you guys, none of this can happen. Patreon is a place where you guys can help us, and in return, we give you guys prizes, discounts at our RavensSpace store, and a lot of different things. So please check it out. We have 3 great stories, like I said, so we'll hop right into the first one. And the first one comes from ESPN, and it talks about the connection between Joe Flacco and Breshad Perriman, and how if they come together, they can be a great duo. Breshad Perriman was asked some questions, and one of the questions is, how do you get Joe Flacco to throw you a ball, and how do you earn his trust? And the answer, Breshad was very sweet and short, and he said, make plays and be in the right spot. This is one of the strengths I think Joe Flacco has, is that Joe Flacco does have people he trusts, but he throws the ball to everybody. He throws the ball regardless of what your name is, and a lot of quarterbacks don't do that. You'll see a lot of quarterbacks, focus on one receiver and, force the ball to them even in emergent situations, like Andy Dalton does sometimes. But Joe Flacco throws it to everybody. He gets everybody involved. He will always have 8 different receivers catching the pass, which is a big thing for a quarterback. Now, Breshad Perriman has had a great camp. Breshad Perriman has had the best camp of any Baltimore Ravens player. Early in the offseason, you guys heard Mike Wallace say that he's going to be a top 5 receiver. And so Breshad Perriman is doing everything that he can to earn Joe Flacco's trust. Now we just need Joe and him to get on the same page. The same way that, Joe and Anquan Boldin were on the same page. The same way that Joe and Torrey were on the same page. And it only takes a couple of years. Again, Joe will throw you the ball. Joe trusts us easily. He's not afraid of interceptions, so he'll give you a chance. And that is something that Joe is good at doing. And if Breshad can earn his trust, be in the right plays, run the right routes, I promise you he'll get the ball thrown to him, and he'll be a big plus for our offense. And let me know in the comments below if you think Breshad Perriman is going to take the next step and become a top Baltimore Ravens playmaker. I think he is, but you guys let me know how you feel. The second story comes from the Bleacher Report, and it talks about why each team should be optimistic going into camp. And for the Baltimore Ravens, the reason is that they may have their next great safety. The Ravens already have a great safety in Eric Weddle, but they think that Tony Jefferson and Eric Weddle will help each other and become great players in their own right. And Tony Jefferson has a more rangy game than Eric Weddle. And when I say rangy, I mean that Tony Jefferson makes plays in the backfield, he makes plays at the line of scrimmage, and he makes plays in pass coverage. Eric Weddle does that, but Tony Jefferson does that at a much higher level. Tony Jefferson leads teams, great defensive teams, and tackles. That's how rangy he is. He's always involved in the play. And I think that he has a chance to do that this year as well. And then they pulled also a quote from John Harbaugh when he had an interview with Ryan Mink. And John said, he was just all over the field. When a guy can line up here and show a blitz and run over there and get into coverage and come back down from the deep and run a blitz and penetrate and make a play in the backfield, he knows what he is doing. And I know when you guys heard that, the thing that clicked in your mind is Ed Reed, because Ed Reed had a great ability to show one thing, be at the line of scrimmage. As soon as the play call, he would bail out and get an interception. This is something that Tony Jefferson can do as well. Not as well as Ed Reed, of course, but he may be better than Ed Reed at lining up in the backfield, and when the play is called, coming up into a short zone and playing that run coverage. So I'm super excited about him. The Bleacher Report thinks that the biggest reason for the Baltimore Ravens to be optimistic is because they may have the next great safety in Tony Jefferson. And then the third story of the day talks about Anquan Boldin and whether he will become a Baltimore Raven once again. A lot of people are discussing and wondering if it could be true that Anquan Boldin will be coming back to the purple and black. And I don't think so. I think that Anquan is just not a fit for this team right now. If he comes on to this team, in my opinion, he's the 4th receiver behind Jeremy Maclin, Breshad Perriman, and Mike Wallace. And if I was the coach At the fourth receiver position, where there's not a lot of stress, there's not a lot of big expectations, I would throw a young guy out there. Let Cabanero try to get out there and try to prove that he can develop at the next level. I would do something like that instead of having a veteran who won't be on the team for more than a year, take a spot up. I don't think that they should do that. I think that they should just let this go, because let's say that the Ravens do sign him and he doesn't make the team, and now you have all this backlash from Ravens fans. Let him go. He's a great player. He's a great player and was one of the major reasons that the Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl. But I think his time has come for the Baltimore Ravens. But a lot of people are speculating it. He is meeting with one undisclosed team. No one knows what the team is. But he is meeting with them. I don't think it should be with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are better off without him. He's a great player. He was a great player. He is one of my favorite Baltimore Ravens players because of his grit and his grime. But I don't think he's a right fit for this Baltimore Ravens team. Let me know in the comments below, though, if you think that we should get Anquan Boldin or not. Again, I would love him as a coach, a receivers coach, or something like that, but not as a player. I just think he's past his prime, and I don't think the Ravens will be better with him. And like we do at the end of every single RavensSpace Daily, we have a mailbag question, and this question comes from Ethan, and Ethan asks, what do you think of Anquan Boldin? Do you see him making the team at least until Dixon is back? Thank you so much for your question, Ethan. And before I answer it, I want to say one thing. I saw a comment in last episode's comment section that asks, how do you get your question featured here? Now, please send questions to TheRavensSpace@gmail.com. Get your question. I'll put it out there. As we get bigger and as we grow, things are going to change a little bit. We might start taking comment questions, but right now we take those questions because it's easier for me to organize and to reflect and hit your question when I'm recording. So again, please send your questions to TheRavensSpace@gmail.com. Now, to answer your question, Ethan, Anquan Boldin will make the team. That is my prediction. You can call it a bold prediction. He will make the team. I think he is very talented. I think he is shifty. I think he's in the similar mold to a Terrence West. And I think that because of that, he'll fit well into the run game. Also, the running backs that the Ravens have who may take that third spot when Dixon is out, they're uninspiring. Lorenzo Taliaferro has been working out as a fullback. Uninspiring. Buck Allen. Now, I loved Buck Allen. I really did. I thought he had great potential. But John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens don't see something in him. They have not given him a chance, and I really do believe that. So I think that Anquan Boldin will make the roster as a third running back. But I do think that when it's all said and done and Kenneth Dixon comes back, Anquan will hit the practice squad. Which is a dangerous thing, because if it's the practice squad, another team can come get him. But I think that's what will happen. And then Kenneth Dixon, in my opinion, will be that third running back behind Terrence West and Danny Woodhead. And that is the end of the episode for today. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate your support here at the RavensSpace. Please subscribe for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, check out a RavensSpace t-shirt store where you can get a t-shirt and support us. Check out our Patreon page where you can support us and we will give you stuff in return. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.